Hey guys, what's up? It's me, the Media Raptor. I'm back here with another Media Raptor reaction and review, here in Marvel May. Now, some of you guys may be looking up at the title and thinking, what's he gonna watch this time? Well, tonight I'm gonna look at a 2008 Marvel animated film called Hellboy, Sword of Storms. Now, some of you may be thinking, no you can't, there's only two Hellboy movies. Hellboy and Hellboy 2, The Golden Army. You're right. And I do believe Guillermo del Toro is actually writing the third one right now. I'm not entirely sure. But whatever, that's not important. They also made two animated Hellboy movies. Blood and Iron and Sword of Storms. I'm gonna watch Sword of Storms. If you're wondering why, it just sounds way cooler than Blood and Iron does. At least to me, and from what I read on the back. So, I don't know anything about this, aside from the fact that Guillermo del Toro did write this. Well, hang on. Yeah, he wrote this. And they actually got Ron Perlman to play Hellboy, and he also played Hellboy in the Hellboy movies. And I've only seen one other thing that Guillermo del Toro has done, and that was Pacific Rim, and I loved that movie. So I'm really hoping that he can make a great cartoon movie. But I'm not going to know until I actually sit down and watch this thing, now am I? So without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Hellboy, Sword of Storms. Well guys, that's exactly what I wanted to see. Hellboy in a Speedo. Frozen in ice. This thing is just going for the pinnacle of class.
Why don't you boys take a break?
Still was pretty funny, actually.
What is it?
You know, I just realized I'm awfully tired. You guys have fun.
I gotta agree with that. How was that funny? How was retelling the story of Pandora's box, but when this girl opened it, it was full of gouged out human eyes and other stupid stuff like that. How was that supposed to be funny? If they were trying to prove that the guy who was telling it was an idiot, mission accomplished. If they're trying to be funny, they can do better. Hang on, is this guy who's sitting in an alley behind a food store with this old scroll, these little like HeroClix figures, whose eyes keep glowing, like his eyes look as if he's on crack pretty much? Is he actually making this storm happen? Because we haven't really got a straight up answer, but it seems like he is, but I don't know. You know what, you guys, this is I kinda got a few questions I really want answered, and I'm not sure if this thing's gonna be able to give me those. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. Great. Hellboy just broke the Sword of Storms, which held the world's two strongest demons ever.
There's the Sword of Storms.
Oh boy. Oh, and the sword has blood in it. That's just weird. Oh. Hear that guy who I mentioned who was causing the storms? He looks just weird right now. And, oh, please tell me I'm not gonna see what I think I'm gonna see. Never mind. That was cool. Now we're just gonna have like an epic showdown, and I guess we're gonna be done in like 10 minutes. Okay, you guys, that was Hellboy, Sword of Storms, and I was expecting more. Let me just stop this. You know, I haven't seen either Hellboy or Hellboy 2, The Golden Army, but I have heard they were good. So I found this thing at at a video store before it closed down for $5, and I was thinking, you know what? They're both like an hour and 15 minutes, and they both cartoons, and they both Hellboy, and they got like Ron Perlman, Guillermo del Toro, all that kind of stuff. It should be great. I don't know about Blood and Iron, or yeah, that's how you say it, but Sword of Storms was average. It was a made-for-TV movie. I do know that now. So it was, I'm gonna assume it was like aired on Cartoon Network or Teletoon or whatever you want to call it. But yeah. Let's just start talking about this thing. The writing. The writing is kind of confusing. Because we do have a very interesting story, don't get me wrong. The story is very interesting. However, it left me asking a lot of questions. And I guess though it is superhero cartoon sort of thing, you don't want to think too hard about it. But I wasn't even thinking about it. I was still asking some questions like, well, why are they doing this? Or why didn't they do that in the first place? And I think the biggest problem has to be the pacing. Because if this thing was about 45 minutes, I would have loved it. Instead, they stretched it out to 77 minutes. And a lot of that was just padding, and I guess they were trying to do that so it could fit into a 2-hour time slot on TV. But if they had made it just 45 minutes, made it fit into an hour-long slot on TV, I wouldn't have a problem with it. But the thing is, since they had to extend it, they had to add a lot of stuff which I didn't really think they needed to add in the first place. Yeah, and really all that stuff that wasn't there is just so vague, and I just finished watching it that I can't remember it. But still, it was good. The story, good idea. Very, very good. If this was like their first attempt to making a Hellboy cartoon, good try. Make them shorter and they'll be great. That's all I can say. Or at least get a more detailed plot. The characters, well, you can care for Hellboy, Liz, Abe, those guys, you know, everyone at the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense. Stuff like that, you know. So, characters, you know, we can care for them. It's like, yeah, you know, we got reasons to care. Not huge reasons, but still reasons. The acting. This is probably the best part of the movie, because, as I said before, they got voices such as Ron Perlman, Shelma Blair, Doug Jones, John Hurt, and Perry Gilpin, who I believe were also characters in the actual 2 Hellboy movies. So everybody, well, those characters at least, did a really, really good job playing who they were essentially in the movies. Everyone else, you know, they were in the middle. They were good, but Ron Perlman, he was by far the best. And that's just because I like Ron Perlman a lot. I just think he's actually a pretty good actor. Yeah. Moving on, animation. Okay, this is my biggest problem, even aside from the writing. This is my biggest problem with Sword of Storms, is the animation. About 80% of about 75% of these shots in this thing look great. Like, they look really well animated, because it was animated by Marvel, so... wait a minute. What? But is Hellboy a Marvel character? I probably should have checked before I just watched this entire thing. Oh. What was I thinking? Guys, I have no idea if Hellboy is even a Marvel character. If he isn't, well, I'm not going to pull this video down just because of that, but... wow, that was stupid. Anyhow, back to what I was saying. The other 25% of the shots they range from okay to they just look bad. Some of them look as if they actually just kind of, if they just went to Flipnote on their DSi and just drew it on there. But those are very few, but I still noticed some, so it was worth mentioning. Music and audio and all the technical stuff, it's really well done. Yeah. Like, all the technical stuff, aside from animation, is good, and the acting is pretty good. Overall, can I recommend Hellboy Sword of Storms here? Kind of. First off, let me rate this. I would give this movie 1.5, so 1.5 raptor claws, or 2 raptor claws. I would give it somewhere between there, so like 1 2/3 raptor claws. Because you know what, there were problems with it, but it was still at least kind of entertaining. And the biggest problem is, and I'm kind of going to slip back to writing here, is they don't really have a huge fight until literally the last 5 minutes, and that thing lasts like 3 minutes and it's done. That was like the best fight sequence out of the entire thing. So you know what, you guys, if you are a huge fan of Hellboy, you're going to probably want to check this out at least once. I'm gonna end up watching the 2 Hellboy films. I might actually just go do that once I'm done here. Even if it isn't Marvel, I don't really care anymore, but seriously, if he is not a Marvel character, I'm gonna feel so stupid. Moving on. If you liked the 2 Hellboy movies, yeah, give this thing a shot. If you haven't seen the 2 Hellboy movies, go watch them, then come and try and find this. Is there a chance of me watching the... Oh, crud. Is there a chance of me watching Blood and Iron? Yeah, there's a decent... It's like a 50-50 chance I will. I'm not going to do it for Marvel May, because I'm still not sure if he's even a Marvel character. Yeah, but I'm not going to keep dwelling on that, otherwise I'm going to start beating myself up. But, yeah, overall, it was it was just kind of an average made-for-TV cartoon movie. I think I kind of had my expectations set a bit too high, and that may have been why it didn't turn out as well as I thought. But you know what, you guys may like this more than I did. But, that's all I really have to say. So until next time, this is the Meteor Raptor saying keep cool, and I will see you guys around.